I'm gonna try to act more professional now. I can put my monster somewhere where I won't kick it. So I believe it is Brent Tonisson on the left playing Gardevoir. It's Caleb Rogerson on the right playing Goldengo Dragapult. Alright. Monkey Dory starts for both players. Going to be a turn 1 Vessel for Brent as he goes to prize check his deck. Yeah, Brent on Gardevoir and Caleb on Goldengo here. Blur's back. There's a little bit. Should mostly solve itself, hopefully. I believe it is with no Zork, if I'm not entirely mistaken. I do not think Brent is playing Zork. The only other thing I know about his list is that I think there is a Cleffa. Poltengo. It's Poltengo on the right, Caleb Rogerson. The other top 4 game, which is currently going on, is Yurko Valencia versus Fernando Cifuenza. That matchup is Terrabox versus Blissey Monkey Dory. So we got a pretty scuffed looking top 8 here. Top 8 and top 4, frankly. Supposedly, though, Poltengo and Gardevoir are both bad matchups, or at very least losable matchups for the Blissey deck. So that might be interesting. But yeah. Yeah. Alright. Brent goes Artisan, attach active. Vessel, attach active, Artisan for Ralts, and pass. Back over to Caleb, who's going to start his turn by using the Artisan. I think that's a little better. Caleb is, of course, just going to be prize checking. Did any EV box do well? Not to my knowledge. There's probably a couple in like 32, 64, I'd imagine, but none in top 8. Alright, we need the Artisan for the gimme goal here as we continue to prize check. This is top 4, yes. No more top 8 games left. It is just top 4. And after this, it'll be finals. We're watching top 4. Brent Tonisson, Gardevoir, Caleb Rogerson, Goldengo Dragapult. So Caleb looks like we're adding up the Ultra Ball and the Evo. Pretty interesting grabs here of the Ultra Ball. We do have another gimme goal and a Dragon or a Dreepy, sorry, in the hand here. So hand all of a sudden looking a lot better for Caleb and the Nest Ball. This ball will zoom in. Unfortunately, not. I am literally as close to the projector as the staff will let me get. And I'm streaming off of my very not good phone. Alright. Goldengo and Jacloak grabbed here. It's back over to Brent here. With this board, we really can't be expecting Brent to be pulling off any turn 2 Gardevoir shenanigans. If he does, then he would just be the GOAT. Just trying to will that into existence right now. We do see the Iono. And an attachment to the Monkey Dory. I believe it is Psychic Dark on the Monkey Dory, if I'm not mistaken. To reach light from the camera. There is no light coming from the camera. Listen, chat, I know you want this stream to look better. Trust me, and no one wants it more than me. But it can't happen. This is as good as it gets. Yep. Alright, Artisan for what looks like Cleffa. No, Cleffa was in hand. It's going to be Artisan for the Ralts. Regardless, this is definitely a Cleffa angle here for Brent. I do not believe we have a Curlia either. But let's see here. Yeah, I've just got the projectors up. The projector's been up, I believe, all of day 2. I slept in, so I did not stream until top 8. That's on me. All right, we do have a Curlia, though. That's something. He's going to make this turn 3 a little better for Brent. Of course, the board is looking pretty scuffed. I honestly don't really know how this matchup plays a lot of the time. The trade does seem pretty favored for Goldengo between Monkey Dory, Vengeful Punch, and Turo. Eventually, you do just run out of one-prize attackers. Or the one-prize attackers stop taking one prize, I should say. But it also depends on how fast Caleb can get going here. Because if Caleb takes a prize this turn, and then Brent responds by taking 2, then I do think that does put Brent in at least what I would consider to be a favorable position, right? Alright. Halucha, I'm leaving you in charge of telling people what game, what part of the tournament, etc. Yeah. Tanner still played Genesect? I don't know, but I'd assume so. All of the straight pull players did play Genesect. On that note, Caleb is also playing a Genesect in his deck, which was very good in the 6-card mirror in top 8. Don't think it's going to be seeing any play here. Friends in the Secret Box is nice, but it's by no means a must as far as I'm concerned, so yeah. Alright. Caleb is just going to take the one prize. Blissey is in top 4. Blissey is currently playing against Terrabox. Alright, looks like double Vessel for Brent here. Where is that going to get us? Going to get us a nest ball. There's the Fez. Alright. Thank you so much. I'm going to quickly hold a spot for someone. Well, for Mel. There's no reason for me to be saying someone. All right. So what's going on for Brent here? We've used Fez. Curly came down last turn. What are our options? We basically have to knock out this Goldengo if we want to stay in this race, as far as I'm concerned. That is just what it has to be. We can never really let Caleb soak damage, or else we get very heavily punished by Monkey Dory in a matchup like this, especially if we're attacking with Screamtail, Driftload, etc. So we'll see the second monkey hit the board here for Brent. And what now? Charm to the Fez. Alright, opting for that over charming an attacker. But it does look we are just going to have to pass it over now as Brent. And immediately this seems to be like, this could be a bad situation. Again, I'm going to be fully transparent here. I honestly do not really know how this matchup plays. I had 0 games of it. That's just the honest truth here. So hopefully you guys will also learn something, because I am definitely taking notes, at least mentally. Kind of hard to commentate, hold this phone, and take notes at the same time. That's kind of a... yeah, probably not going to get me anywhere. Alright. Ultra Ball here after 2 Goldengos have been used. So we have 1 Goldengo and 2 Dracloak left as far as draw is concerned for Caleb. Caleb here really just looking to go up, buy 2 prize cards now, get that 4 to 6 lead going on. With both Fez in play, Gardevoir eventually going to be hitting the board, and the Vengeful Punch, of course. That is just going to be Caleb's best way of keeping himself ahead in this game. So we'll see. The other top 4 game is still going on, by the way. Between Cifuense and Yurko Valencia here. I will let you guys know when I know if that game is finished. Caleb going to be ciphering after all draw here, so it is just going to be tutoring for next turn, which is great because one of Caleb's best ways of really doing, not Caleb, sorry, one of Brent's best ways of coming back into this game is just going to be spamming the hell of Iono. And with that in mind, then this is definitely going to be nice for Caleb here, because now we are guaranteed to see these 2 cards no matter what. We'll lose to the next turn off of Coin Bonus, or we will draw them off of Iono if Brent is able to Iono. Brent should definitely still Iono if given the possibility, just a lower hand size and all that, but regardless, there's the Vengeful Punch to the Goldengo. All of a sudden now Drifloon cannot punch this Goldengo in good faith. And Caleb gonna forward his lead here. I'm gonna make sure I'm holding this phone correctly. I'm a bit slacking on that. I think a judge is reading Vengeful Punch, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Ultra Ball for Goldengo EX, not Goldengo EX, Gardevoir EX, sorry, is gonna be how we start the turn here as Brent. But what now? What else can we do? Let's draw. Pult fall off Mexico. I think there was just a lot of Pult in the War counters. Straight Dragapult still did really well. I believe there were multiple straight Dragapults that made top 8. Which, in fairness, the way metas like this tend to work is that when there's a clear BDIF, it'll really pop off for one event, and then all the counter decks will do well for an event, and then the BDIF will find the solution to all the counter decks, and then it'll pop off again. So don't let this fool you. Dragapult Dusknoir is still the best deck in the format. Bare minimum, anyway. Any deck playing Dragapult, I would say, is the best deck in the format, because Dragapult is a broken card. Yeah. Enough about me ranting about meta, though. Save that for the regular streams, which you should tune into, by the way. Shameless plug. Very shameless plug. We're going to go back to Brent here, though, who's evolving this Golden Gardevoir EX, my bad. And what now? We have Double Monkey. We have a Screamtail, which seems to be our attacker of choice, but Screamtail really isn't doing that much here. We can take a Cloak, but I fear we're too far behind for this to really have an impact. And with 3 Goldengos on the board, it's not like this thing is gonna really do a whole lot to stop Caleb. Well, I say that, but now we have 6 energy and 120 damage, and I believe after Monkey Dory pings, if I'm not fully mistaken, we will be able to simply knock out a benched Goldengo. Is going to be the play. Yeah, that's what we're going to see Brent doing here. So, moving 40 to a bench Goldengo, and then immediately knocking it out with the Scream Tail. It has 120 damage on it, which is doing 240. So, we'll see. This is better than official Pokemon streams? Yeah, there's no way. Alright. So Brent officially in this game 4-4 now on the prize trade, but of course Caleb is still very much ahead. We'll see what he's able to do. I'm fairly certain Caleb is only playing one copy of something like Boss's Orders, or any form of a non-counter catcher gust. I can't imagine there's more than one. And with that being the case, we really only have one chance in this game to take a 2-price knockout on something like that Pheasantipity or the Gardevoir. Both of them are, of course, well within our range as far as one-shotting stuff is concerned, but there is all that. With the active on the left, that is Scream Tail. Scream Tail with Bravery Charm, 6 energies, and 120 damage. Scream Tail's got hands, alright. Alright. Caleb now finishing up his Energy Search Pro. So, I don't quite know. I think this is a good turn to boss, unless we have multiple boss. Because if we do boss around this Scream Tail, we are leaving this threat in play, and we're kind of giving Brent a line where he kind of just gets to go Iono, plus knock out a Goldengo. Of course, he's probably going to do that no matter what you do. But by removing a Bravery Charm, by removing the Scream Tail, you're forcing some resources, and if you do get Iono, you are drawing that one extra card, which might be relevant. Of course, Caleb's deck is still thin. We might not care about Iono at this point. Well, we're always going to care about Iono to a certain degree anyway, right? But regardless. It seems it is 1-1 on the other top four game. Thank you, chat. I very much appreciate that. I cannot be everywhere at once. Alright. Ultra Ball here. Gonna be grabbing a Dragapult here. And now this seems to be our Iono proofing of choice here. This Dragapult, if we are able to establish it correctly, is just going to be a bit of a problem for Brent here, put it lightly, as it is able to take 2 prize cards on some of these more scuffed boards here. We'll see. So we will see. Alright. There is the Boss's Orders on the Gardevoir. And with a Ralts in play, there's a very real chance that Brent isn't going to get a Gardevoir. It is very likely he gets Gardevoir, but likely and impossible. Definitely not the same thing. That word choice made no sense. The point is that it's very well within the possibility that Brent whiffs the Gardevoir EX. And if he does, then an Iono from Caleb might actually be what ends up swinging this game. But this game is very, very strange as far as the prize mapping is concerned. We are going to see the knockout there. Now, of course, if Brent hits into the active Goldengo, his Scream Tail, or Drifloon for that matter, will just die. Which means we have to snipe the bench, and to snipe the bench we have to use Monkey Dory, but with no Gardevoir EX in play, we can't use Monkey Dory, so name of the game for Brent here is going to be to reestablish a Gardevoir EX, reestablish the Gardevoir EX, get to use Monkey Dory, so that we can once again use our Scream Tail to go to 2 prize cards. Because Caleb should not be playing a second copy of Boss's Orders, so as long as we go to 2 prize cards, we are staying out of counter catcher range. Dragapult is in no position to be attacking anytime soon, with no energy on the Dracloaks. So yeah, very interesting back and forth here. Honestly, I think Brent is favored in this position, but not by that much. This turn is going to be pivotal. I cannot get closer, unfortunately. This is literally the closest I can possibly get. Alright. It's going to be Ultra Ball for the Gardevoir here. Brent down all Gust. I do not think Brent is down any Gust, but the deck typically does not play Boss. So we should have Counter Catchers left. We have a Scream Tail with 120 damage on it, so I don't think we're that worried about our Gust options here. There's a Counter Catcher. I'm going to see a little bit of stalling here, but we did get, we did find Kangaroo, Counter Catcher, Iono. I think we should be able to take a knockout on a bench Goldengo now. And looks like a good position for Brent as far as I'm concerned. Just the one Psychic, but that is the only Psychic we need. That's 20 damage on the Monkey Dory, and now we can get another 20 damage down. I don't think we need it, though. And Brent's just going to double-check that Vengeful Punch only procs on the active. I'm actually not sure about this either. It's been a hot minute since I read that card. We'll probably figure it out based off of... of what Brent opts to target. It is going to be the other Goldengo, which means that the Vengeful Punch does activate on the bench. Regardless, Brent now goes to 2 prize cards. Caleb at 2 prize cards, but with Boss down, it is likely going to be difficult to reach the benchmark here to do anything. Now, this doesn't mean Caleb is out of this game. There are some interesting things going on. Notably, I doubt he plays Boss, or plays second Boss, I should say. But if he plays second Boss but can't find the knockout, there is definitely a line where we Boss the Gardevoir, because there's 6 energy on the Scream Tail, and with 6 energies on the Scream Tail and 1 energy in the discard pile, 2 dark energies in play, the only way for the Gardevoir to move, and the Pheasant Deputy for that matter, well, the Pheasant Deputy can use Night Stretcher, the Gardevoir cannot. So the only way for the Gardevoir to move would be something like a Turo, which could buy some time. Regardless, I don't think there is a second boss in the deck for Caleb, so this is all kind of hypothetical. As for his actual options, though, we are likely in a situation where we're just going to have to swing into the active and hope Brent can't get there, which with a Pheasant Deputy in play seems unlikely. But then again, the only 2 prizes in play is this Goldengo that has the Vengeful Punch. If he does punch into the Goldengo with something like a Drifloon, we would actually go to sudden death, if I'm not mistaken, but we're going to have to bench the Pheasant Deputy. That's a strange play unless we can find some way. No, there is the second boss's orders and the superior, double superior. Crazy for Caleb here. Finds it from the Iono. Okay, we do have the second boss. That changed a lot. This is top 4. That was game number 1. The other top 4 game is in game 3. Good shit for Caleb. I did not think he was going to pull that off. All right, good time for me to take a sip of Monster. All right, going into game number 2 now. So we have a bit more context for what we're looking for in this matchup. So I definitely think Caleb is favored based off of how game 1 played. Obviously, there was a bit of luck there at the end, but even if Caleb doesn't hit it there, there's definitely an awkward turn for Brent as far as trying to close out that game is concerned, as the only 2 prizer would have been the Goldengo, assuming there was no Pheasant Deputy in play, right? But we did have a Turo. So if we whiffed, we could Turo up our Pheasantipity, kind of play around those options. Screamtail with 6 energy to play around the Vengeful Punch seems to be our best line as Brent. But it is quite the combo to pull off, which is going to make our early game, yeah, pretty hard. Let's see here. 1 mulligan for Caleb so far. Let's see if we get another. Trying to avoid filming the little girl who's spreading back and forth. All right. Do active start. For Brent. And turn 1 going first, Poffin for Caleb here. Guys, I cannot zoom in at all. I can literally not get it better than this. It is not possible. Trust me, I have tried. This is the best I can do. I am filming off of a very, very bad phone, which is very old. And this is the closest that the venue will let me get to the projector. Can't really answer questions right now, unfortunately. Can if you get in the Discord server, though, for some other time. Love to answer questions there, or on the more regular streams. Right now, I am focusing on just getting these games recorded and streamed so that we don't lose these games to time. I think preserving games like this, in any esport, frankly, is really important. So, try to do what I can. All right. Nest Ball for all 2 for Brent. Psychic active on this Gimme Ghoul, and then Gimme Ghoul and Dracloak on the bench here. So, fine setup for Caleb. Not the best thing ever, but going first, you're definitely not complaining about this. As for Brent, we've seen a Nest Ball so far. Well, I don't know what we have here. It seems we have another Nest Ball. That's going to be the Cleffa. So we're going to opt for the Cleffa over the Badoo. But this is a strange card in this matchup, as it's a bit fake in the early game, frankly. However, in the late game, it can lock Caleb out of the game if Caleb is not careful about his energy management. So we'll see how that plays. However, starting it as Brent is basically dead, as we're not really trying to use it early. If our setup is good enough, we definitely can use it early, but if we're grabbing Cleffa, it means our hand is just not good enough to be Badooing right now, which does mean it's just a dead bench space for Brent for the majority of this game. Charm to the Badoo. Not sure if I entirely agree with that, as we frankly shouldn't be playing into Monkey Dory in the first place. But I guess we are just trying to thin down our hand. I don't think we were able to draw that many cards off of Clef in the first place, so yeah, maybe it's just worth it. And if we have to attach to Charm, then Badoo is most certainly the place to attach to Charm. So that doesn't make a fair bit of sense here, but yeah, Caleb literally just goes draw for turn, Evo, Pult, sorry, not Pult, Cloak, and Dengo, and pass here. Makes sense. That's what we have in the hand, then that's what we have in the hand. And it's by no means a bad setup. We have some draw now available to us. Obviously not ideal. We kind of love to do a little bit more here on this turn too. But still largely okay. Oh, it does seem that the other top four game is done. I don't know who the winner is. I do see Fernando walking towards the prize wall. So we might be seeing Yurko. I'm not sure though. I will let you guys know when I have confirmation. Or if someone in chat knows for sure, then please let me know as well. I would love to go ask someone, but I kind of can't get up from the seat. That is not an option. All right, Back to the present, though. There's going to be a Cypher here for Caleb, as I believe Brent just put a Curly into play and used the Vessel, and I think just used a Grasping Draw once again. There's the Cypher. There's the coin bonus for 1 into Goldengo. Wow, would you look at that? It's exactly the cards Caleb wanted. That's crazy. It's almost like that's what Cypher does. It was a Cloak. So we see Boss and Dengo. Looks like we are going to be grabbing the, I want to say that was Dengo. Can't really tell for sure. Vessel away Genesect, though. We did Cypher into the Vessel, I'm pretty sure. Vessel definitely just better to grab here than the Esports Pro. You're not really worried about holding it, or I guess using it early, I should say, in this matchup. No Genesect to worry about in Brent's deck. And then we do only need a very little amount of energy to knock out this Cleffa. We have a Psychic on the active Goldengo, though, so we do need to attach another energy to it. And that's going to be fine. There's going to be a knockout on the Cleffa. Prize trade has kicked off now. Boards are looking a little mediocre for both sides. Both boards definitely can pop off here, though. I'd argue both Brent and Caleb have exactly, like, about the bare minimum what they're looking for here. But yeah, it's going to be a secret box here for Brent. Now all hell has to be breaking loose here. If you do not do something as Brent here, the game is looking cooked. We are likely to see a repeat. Now you kind of have like the one turn of leeway as Brent here, right? Frankly, I think Brent in that late game, last game, was more likely to win than Caleb. But if Brent can pull ahead here, it will just likely put him in a very dominant position to win this game, especially if he's able to take maybe even like a knockout on the Dracloak. That would be fine. Of course, active on, or knockout on the active would definitely be ideal here for Brent. We'll see if that's enough, though. I don't think we have that many Psychics in the discard pile. Maybe like 3 or 4. Blissey Finals, as Blissey Finals been confirmed. Can I get a final confirmation in that? Let me know if I get a confirmation on that. In RK9, confirmed by RK9, Blissey is in finals. That is crazy. What a world we're living in. Alright. Next for Dark, Makidori established, and Iono played here for Brent. So I have the Gardevoir EX. I think we discarded our Gardevoir EX, if I'm not mistaken. Not that we can't find another one, of course, but yeah. Prizes right now is 6 for Brent and 5 for Caleb. So we're still very much in the early game, headed into the mid game here. Blissey winning this tournament would certainly be one of the results of all time. We'll see, though. We'll see. Blissey deals with Dengo by playing Cornerstone Ogerpon. So, of course, there is the Dragapult in this list. However, Fernando did beat Michael Davidson playing the same 60 as Caleb on the winning into top 8. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. Yes, it is with 4 copies of Monkey Dory and a bunch of Dark Energies. All right, I'm going to focus on the game now as we see the retreat. Oh, we're going for the Badoo here. Okay, interesting. This is fine. I like this as Brent. It's not the best thing ever, right? But we get to do a little poke damage to this Goldengo. Obviously, the resistance to grass is going to mean that we're not actually doing any damage with the Badoo. We are doing damage with our Monkey Dory from retreating the Carnivore, of course. Now, 6 prize cards still left for Brent. Brent can kind of drop 1 more prize card and still very much be in the race, but Anywhere after that, and it is kind of getting scuffed. So we'll see. Gonna be Artisan for a gimme ghoul for Caleb here. And what else? All right, draw one. That's gonna start. So Caleb's goal this turn. Take two prize, or take one prize. We're definitely not gonna be able to take two during this item lock here. Now, notably, there is a Bravery Charm on this Badoo, which means that we do need to discard 2 energies to discard or to knock out the Badoo as opposed to the usual 1. Not a lot of energies in the discard pile here for Caleb, so we should probably be fine. And we're gonna opt to play the Iono here. Probably not the point in the game where Caleb really wants to be playing this Iono. We'd likely just rather use it in the late game. We did draw a Dragon Bolt and a energy, fire energy notably. So there's a very real chance we might see a Jet Headbutt if we're feeling that. Probably not though, considering that we're just barely short of that knockout. So yeah, we're just going to discard the 2. Which is a shame. I think Caleb definitely would have loved to get an attachment down on the Dracloak, maybe the Goldengo here, depending on what we're choosing to prioritize. So we'll see. Alright, Caleb at the 4 prize cards now. Brent's still at 6. Brent is on the clock. We cannot whiff more knockouts now. Ultra Ball Double Psychic is definitely going to help with that. Surely it's going to be the Screamtail. Going to be a Ralts. Okay. Can't imagine that's the plan, considering that we already have a Ralt and a Gardevoir in play. I don't think we want the 3rd Ralt here. Nope, we're going to be Ultra Balling away the Ralt and what looks like a Research. Glare got really, really bad for a second there. Hoping that'll fix itself. Pretty please. Alright. I'll try to see what the board is. So we Ultra Balled for, I believe, another Munkidori. And now we are going to Artisan for, we're eyeing up the Drifloon. If we're eyeing up Drifloon, one of 2 things are likely the case. Either we prize Screamtail, or we do not have enough energies to knock out a Vengeful Dingo. This is obviously really, really bad as Brent, because if you take a knockout with Drifloon, you're going to be playing into Vengeful Punch. Vengeful Punch will then knock out the Drifloon and put Caleb way too far ahead in this game for Brent to realistically have a chance. So, for Brent's sake, we are really hoping that the Drifloon is not the end game here. We might have a boss, we might have a counter catcher. Both of those things would be completely fine. Let's see. Yeah, we have Pokestats in chat. Alright, Iono now for Brent. Likely digging for the counter catcher. We have found the counter catcher and the charm. Alright, so Brent is still in this game officially. Again, if we ever punch something for just damage, we do kind of just get bodied by Munkidori. We have to take all our one-shots, we have to take all our knockouts as one-shots as Brent, and we need to not knock out the thing with the Vengeful Punch. It's going to get increasingly hard, though, as it is very, very likely that this Goldengo but it looks like we're acting for something different here as Brent. We have the counter catcher. We could knock out the bench Goldengo, but we might be eyeing to knock out the active Goldengo, which we can actually do because we have the Bravery Charm and we are only putting 3 energies on the Drifloon. So the only 3 energies on the Drifloon. It has 60 HP, or it takes 60 damage, takes an additional 40 to go to 100 as the Bravery Charm, which means its max HP is at 120, so we are surviving with 20 HP now. And evening the prize trade to 4-4. Now this situation is looking increasingly good for Brent here as he makes that play. Now we're all of a sudden in a situation where as Caleb, we really can't ignore this Drifloon because this Drifloon is actually hitting for 300 damage. As it took the damage from the Vengeful Punch, and of course the Drifloon does damage not for every energy on it, but for every damage counter on it. We'll see how Caleb navigates this. Of course, not using that counter catcher as Brent. I'm choosing to remove the damage. Throat's getting a little dry. A lot of talking. We'll see. One alternative play as Brent would have been to play the counter catcher up the bench Goldengo, and then the active Goldengo had 8 damage on it, or 80 damage on it. Yeah. So we could have maybe left the one with 80 damage on it in play, so we can maybe knock it out with Gardevoir EX next turn. Not sure that would have been great, as taking a prize with Gardevoir EX is just making Caleb's life a little too easy, not forcing the boss at all. Yeah, I'm gonna hydrate. Give me 2 seconds, guys. All right. Yes, it is Guardy on the left versus Poltadengo on the right. Brent Tonisson versus Caleb Rogerson. Oh. All right, it's going to be Caleb going Ultra Ball for Goldengo here. 3 Goldengo now in play. More card draw for Caleb. I don't know what the judges are doing with this discard pile. I'll just let them handle that. Alright. Night Stretcher for metal. And 1 energy is going to be enough to knock out the Drifloon. Now, 3 to 4, the prize trade is officially in Brent's favor. We need to take 2 more knockouts to win this game. Caleb also needs to take 2 more knockouts to win this game. We have now officially forced Caleb into a 7 prize game. Well, not necessarily, but it'll be enough. Both players, regardless of prizes remaining, need 2 more turns to win the game, and Brent is the player who has a turn right now. And Mo's back with food. That is a lot of food.
I got the goodies.
You sure got the goodies. Oh my god.
Do you want a vanilla shake, or lemonade, or a Diet Coke?
I guess I'll do a Diet Coke.
Would you also like one of the others?
Not right now.
Would you want one by you or no?
What?
Would you want one by you or no?
I don't know. I can't think about it right now. We have food. Share? Cora, I'd love to share. Kinda can't right now. Alright, Mo, I'm going back on caster duty.
Okay.
Have you eaten your part? No? Okay, so just
I got you waffle fries.
eat. Sick. Eat for now, and then you can commentate if you want for game free. Because I think we're going into game free. This does look pretty good for Grant here. So Grant, going to be attaching to the Gardevoir EX and the active here, going into the Drifloon. We have now extra Monkey Dory damage. We can knock out the active Goldengo. There is no Vengeful Punch in sight. That card is gone. And now, I mean, the game just looks really, really, really solid for Brent. There is one concern here, and I'm pretty sure that is that we are down now 3 Bravery Charms. Definitely something that could be an issue here. We'll see how Brent plays around it. And it looks like that's going to be about putting 10 damage on each of the bench Goldengos. Now, the way the math plays out is that a Gardevoir EX does 190 damage. With 2 Monkey Dory pings, that damage can go up to 250. Now, with 10 HP, or 10 damage, I should say, left on both Goldengos, no matter what Caleb does, if he attacks with the Goldengo here, the Gardevoir EX will just be able to knock him out for game with the help of those Monkey Dories. So, Caleb has to find some kind of response to this Drifloon that does not involve leaving the Goldengo in the active, because if he ignores the Drifloon by going after the Gardevoir EX, he just loses to the Drifloon. Oh. A Monkey Dory is also not an option for Caleb here, as there is no metal on either of the Goldengos, so if we attach a Dark to the Monkey Dory, we cannot attack with Goldengo here. And yes, to once again reiterate, we do have Fernando in the finals with Blissey on the other side of the bracket. Yeah. Let's see how Caleb tries to navigate this, but it looks pretty bad. I think Brent has game 2 on lock. We might be going into game 3 here. If our only response is just knock out the active, then Brent has game on board. Unless I just can't do math, which is very possible, frankly, but I don't think that's the case because no one has corrected me so far.
Does he play Jammer? Jamming Tower?
No jamming tower.
Oh.
It's Vengeful Punch. Well,
yeah. There's no like CC Guardy, Jamming Tower.
Nope,
knockout,
nope, none of that. No no jamming tower. Yeah, just gonna be the knockout here from Caleb. But this is just a concession, basically. Brent just gonna do it fast here. 60, move the 60 to the active, Miracle Force for the game, and we are going into game number 3 here in top 4. The winner of this game will be facing Fernando on Blissey Monkey Dory, our reigning world champion, waiting on the other side of the bracket. Brent Tonisson on the left, Caleb Rogerson on the right. Game number 3, folks. It's getting exciting. Who's with you? It's Mo. Hi, Mo. Can I have a french fry?
Here, I'll bird feed it too.
Feed. Oh.
Do you want a chicken sandwich or a burger? I got 1 chicken sandwich, 3 burgers.
I'm good for whatever. You got a lot of food.
Yeah.
Surely, I mean, fair, but we don't need a drink and a milkshake each.
It was a misplay.
Was it?
I said combo, and I thought they would give me the shake as a combo.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair. I went to McDonald's this morning to try it, right? They only had breakfast on the menu. Chat, you're going to hear about Mexican McDonald's right now, okay, as we set up here. I go there, and they only have breakfast, and like, okay, that's fine. I'll have like pancakes and like whatever else, right? Because like, why not? And I got like a full meal type of thing with like pancakes and hash browns and sausage and stuff. It was fire. It was good. It was still McDonald's, so it wasn't like amazing, but I mean, it was fast food breakfast, right? And they're like, I got like a small, like, I don't know, McDonald's burrito wrap thing on the side, and they called me up and they're like, hey, we don't have the things to make the burrito. Do you just want another special instead? I'm like, I don't really know what a special is, but sure. So they gave me, basically for the price of 1, they gave me 2 full meals of this like pancake breakfast platter, which is just entirely too much food for one person. But yeah, that is something that happened this morning. So now you know that, chat. All right.
I cut my finger on a box of fries.
You cut your finger on a box of fries.
Yeah.
That's not good. All right, I'm panning this back up again. We have liftoff in game number 3. It looks like it's going to be Brent going first. Monkey Dory in the active. What do we got? Any Poffins? We got a Vessel. Okay, it's something. Do we have an out to a Ralts? That is really all I want to see right now. Out to a Ralts. We're grabbing Dark Psychic after this prize check.
There's no Voodoo in the deck, right?
Voodoo?
So,
no, Brent's playing Voodoo.
No, I'm talking about the other deck. The
no.
Poldango, yeah. And starting the Fez is so lit.
Yeah, Brent's definitely happy to see that. Although, in fairness, this Fez is probably just going to run to the bench pretty fast. It's just an easy Screamtail kill, which is definitely relevant here.
Pokemon get knocked out, they don't get killed.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
But attaching Dark turn 1 is pretty cool, because like you assume you're... Well, I know before this match, now that they're both on stream, I can say this. Brent was really hoping to see on the last match if there was Iono or not.
Yeah.
So
he was
now he's probably
about
going like, I don't know, attach Dark turn 1 and then doing whatever, right?
Yeah. All right, we do have the Artisan here for Brent, though, so there is a Ralts on the board. I feel like we've seen this all 3 games from Brent. A very mediocre opening turn 1 here. Monkey Dory active, Artisan for Ralts, and likely just attach pass over. See a Poffin in hand for Caleb, so Caleb is playing the game. Couple energies.
And Double Dango.
And Double Dango, all right.
we could see an Iono.
Do we have Iono in hand?
It's just a matter of Gardevoir plays 4. It's a possible top deck.
Oh, I mean, like, you mean Iono next turn?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
He's going first.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I thought you were talking about Caleb playing Iono. Like, I don't think that's happening.
No, but in terms of, like, the Goldengo is going away. If double Goldengo hitting the bottom plus Badoo is, like, pretty annoying.
That is very true. Oh, by the way, mods, if you're here, you can ban people for being assholes in chat. I can't really do that right now, but if you feel so inclined, then have fun. All right. Ace's Trolley. Oh, in the Blissey deck, yes. In the Blissey deck, it is.
I'm John Dillerman.
Oh my god.
Try it, Jesper, bro.
This isn't an official stream, so we can actually just be unhinged. No?
I don't think we should.
Well, we're not going to.
Well, yeah. We might say, like, a curse word, right?
I don't think that counts. I've been trying to be family friendly. There is a Moon EX in the Blissey list, yes. We saw that on stream in top 8. We saw Blissey in top 8. There will be a video of the top 8 game posted on YouTube within the next couple days. All right, the turn 1 Turo up the Fez here. Love to see it. Get the Fez out of the way, and it's gonna be Minor Aaron running and a pass
huge,
over.
bro.
It's pretty massive.
You basically give yourself like a fair chance, you know.
Yeah.
Rather than like the unfortunate stuff that you started to prize her, and you're just like, dang, bro.
Right. What? Oh, yeah.
All right. Family friendly. Oh, yeah, he, was raving about this Cleffa. He's like, oh, yeah, bro, MVP over here. This Cleffa.
This Brent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying it's like the turn 1 play versus Miraidon, right?
Yeah, he's been, the Cleffa's been good in this set so far. He's definitely bailed him out of some bad hands. All right, that is turn 2 Candy Gardevoir for Brent Tonisson, if I have ever seen it. Uh-oh. We might be in the danger zone as, well, maybe not. As Caleb here. We're still opting for the Cleffa. I don't think our hand is strong enough to be turn 2 attacking, but we do have turn 2 Gardevoir. That is going to make this next turn incredibly strong as Brent. Now we are basically just guaranteed, who am I kidding? We are just guaranteed a turn 3 attack here as Brent. Something that Brent has not been able to do in any of the games so far until this one. Is going to be able to, so yeah, go ahead here. Oh, not ahead, but ahead enough.
Because he has double Goldengo, right? He's drawing 3 cards minimum.
Well, boss kill Gardevoir here would just, like, surely win the game. This is a very real point.
There's Ultra Ball. You can't really benefit too much off that. I mean, get another Dracloak, right?
It's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard to see what's like on the stream, so I'm just gonna like keep talking about like what the players are doing.
Okay.
But I love to like talk about like I can't really like analyze the board unfortunately because I have to focus on the terrible glare on the screen. All right, Artisan for Gimme Gold to start us off here. We have double Goldengo in hand, as Mo pointed out. So yeah. Boss Kill Gardevoir here would be pretty good. There is an Energy Surge Pro. Okay. Do we have Boss? I don't think we have Boss yet. We draw a Boss though. That is a Counter Catcher. That is not going to get us anywhere. Dracloak. Genesect Poffin. Okay. Yeah, neither are cards we really care too much about. Gildic Box lost to Brent Tonisson, playing Gardevoir, who's on the left right now in Game 3. All right, double Goldengo in play. Active has a Metal Energy now. We might just be eyeing up killing this Cleffa. Kill this Cleffa with no Vengeful Punch is going to be a very, very scuffed board for Caleb. is just going to be the knockout here onto the Cleffa. And now, insane board for Brent. 8-card hand, Pheasantipity available, Artisan available, Gardevoir EX in play. Double Monkey Dory when already has a Dark. This board, this situation, it could almost not get better for Brent. So we see the Artisan for the Ralts to start us off here. This is exactly what Brent wants to see. No Vengeful Punch.
The speed, this timing, it's perfection. Shout out if you know Haikyuu.
Bro, Haikyuu's fire, trust. Going home and rewatching the Inarizaki game for sure. Alright, Fez for Brent here. What do we got? Let's see a Vessel and an Ultra Ball. Those are both very good cards if you're trying to knock out a Goldengo. Do we have a Charm? We do need a Bravery Charm here. No supporter has been played, so Arven is also an out. Although, I say that, actually, have we seen Brent play an Arven? Does Brent play Arven? Brent might not actually play Arven. I might be trolling. Probably not, right? No, okay. Oh, there's a Secret Box, though. That'll do it. Secret Box will definitely do the job. So Brent is most certainly there. Brent is most certainly there. I believe that was a Ralts or a Kirlia discarded along with 2 Psychic Energy. Eyeing up a Vessel, eyeing up a Charm.
I believe Kirlia.
It has to be Kirlia, right?
It's Kirlia, it has 2 attacks.
Oh, okay, real.
Or it's another monkey.
No, it's Kirlia. It's Kirlia, it's Kirlia. No, is it monkey?
It's monkey, he plays 3.
Oh, does he actually play 3?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. Okay. Monkey. All right, never mind. Anyway. Let's see what we got.
Chat.
What?
I was reading chat.
Oh, real. Yeah, you're in a bad angle for that. All right, Brent going to be playing Vessel. I believe that is a counter catcher we're getting rid of. Brent kind of saying, I don't think I'm going behind anymore. I probably got this game on lock. And yeah, I'd agree with Brent. We got another Ultra Ball away, 2 more energy. Basically, all the Psychics are now in the discard pile for Brent. This board is looking good. There's a Lily's Clefairy being grabbed. Likely just thinning. I'm assuming we have an attacker in hand. I can't imagine Lily's Clefairy is our attacker of choice here. Although, in fairness, there is a very real chance that Lily's Clefairy is a viable attacker in this matchup if Caleb does have a full bench. Right now, the Lily's Clefairy is doing 180, which is obviously less than the Gardevoir. And if it's less than the Gardevoir, it is not good enough, put simply. But if it ever does hit for a base 220, then all of a sudden we're looking at a double Monkey Dory being able to one-shot a Goldengo.
Even 200.
What?
So minus 1 bench. 4 bench on one side, 5 bench on the other. It's 200.
We don't want to do it too. Oh, you were doing 60. Never mind. You're right.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter. Regardless, we're going to see the Ayano here. So 5-card hand for Caleb as this Goldengo is going to get knocked out with Drifloon Charm on the bench for Brent. One more energy to the Gardevoir to retreat it. Not that we're going to need that, though. See where we put those remaining 20. Maybe on the Dracloak, but again, no energy going to be remaining on the board for Caleb. It means that we're never going to get value from our Monkey Dory. It's going to be 20 on the Goldengo. It's going to let you continue the race here for Brent. Brent now ahead in the 2-2-2 officially. Between Drifloon, Streamtail, and now Gardevoir EX. Frankly, I don't see how Caleb's going to swing this. It is very possible, but honestly, I say very possible. That might be generous of me. Me promoting the Gimme Ghoul. Interesting choice here. Does not have an attack we can use to respond here. That is not an option. No real one-prize options here for Caleb. Monkey Dory and Dracloak are our best choices, but both of them do require 2 energies. Neither of which is something Caleb can do. There is no Crispin in this deck list. I am very, very, very certain. Dracloak, Puffin, and I believe an Arven. Neither of which great. Is going to be the Puffin grabbed. Artisan played. And what now? Yeah, this is Pulp Dengo without Crispin, but with Scyther. Scyther? No, not the Pokemon. Cypher Maniac's code breaking. Alright. Vengeful Punch and Vessel are going to be grabbed from the Zarvin. Do we have a Goldengo EX in hand? We should. It's the only reason we would ever realistically be promoting this Gimmighoul. 2 energies grabbed. Looks like we are opting for the Munkidori, so the line for Caleb looks to be Dark to Monkey, Adrenabrain to knock out the Drifloon, and then just leave the 1 prize Gimmighoul in the active, hoping that Brent cannot find a response. The odds of this working are relatively slim, but it is likely the only reasonable out for Caleb. Remember, in the Pokemon TCG, playing to your outs is the only way to win.
Yeah.
That's the simple reality here. The odds are not good, but they're also not 0. There's the Adrenabrain healing and knocking out the Drifloon. Caleb going to 4 prize cards now. And of course, while it would be great if we could take an additional 2 this turn, that is not possible as we have used our hand attachment and cannot attach to a Goldengo, which means we are passing the turn with Gimmighoul in the active. Back over to Brent, we are looking for Screamtail. Of course, the only 2 prizer in play does have that Vengeful Punch. Now granted, with Caleb at 4 prize cards, we kind of can just ignore the Vengeful Punch and knock out the Goldengo anyway with something like a Screamtail with a Bravery Charm, because that would put Brent at 2 and put Caleb at 3. Caleb would not be able to win the game immediately, and then Brent would be threatening game with whatever his attacker of choice is, like the Drifloon, but could be something else. Be interesting to see what Brent opts to choose, though. Let's see an Ultra Ball. For the Clefairy is going to be the option here. Yeah, Clefairy to hand, and then Screamtail from the Artisan to the bench here. So it does look like Brent is opting for the Screamtail, just going to take the prize on the Goldengo to continue the momentum, to continue the 2-2-2, and to stay ahead in this game. The alternative for Brent here is just going to be to take a 1 prize knockout. The problem with taking a 1 prize knockout naturally is just that if you take a 1 prize knockout and go to free here as Brent, you are activating Countercatcher as Caleb. Caleb could then go Countercatcher Fez, go to 2, and with Brent then at free, you would be losing the game by a turn, and Caleb would be able to go Boss or Countercatcher, depending on which one was used the turn prior, for game. So, Vengeful Punch is likely for Gardevoir and for any deck playing Terra Pikachu. So, it is really only in decks like Goldengo, but regardless, in Goldengo, it is incredibly strong. For situations exactly like this, frankly. Alright, Iono here for Brent. 4 cards drawn for both players. Brent is looking for Bravery Charm. 3 more cards from Fez. Can we find the charm? I do not see it. I also can't really get a view of the hand. There's an Ultra Ball. Curly in the active. Clefairy once again searched out for like the 3rd time this game. Gonna be another Ultra Ball, this time getting rid of the Clefairy. We might not see it again. For a Gardevoir EX. Do we have Charm, though? We still don't know. If we do not have Charm, we are very, very likely looking at something along the lines of a Munkidori or Screamtail knockout to the active. Alternatively, we can knock out the Dracloak or the Munkidori. Either of those plays are valid. Looks like we are going into the Screamtail. And I do not see a Charm. Brent's reaching for energies. Nope, it is only going to be the 2. There is no Bravery Charm in sight. And what are we eyeing up? Is it going to be the Dracloak? Is it going to be the Monkey? Oh! Nope, that's a Munkidori. Okay. It's going to be a Munkidori here onto the Okay, interesting. So Monkey Dory pinged 10 on Gimmighoul, and then putting 40 with the snipe here from the Screamtail, which now I believe only has 20 damage on it, onto Gholdengo. So this does a couple of things. Namely, it keeps the prize cards at 4/4 while leaving this Gimmighoul in the active. So this Vengeful Punch Gholdengo is not going into the active. Caleb could do something along the lines of Evolve Active, Attach Energy, Knockout, but from 4-card hand and restricted draw, it is very, very likely that Caleb just isn't able to take 2 prize cards here. And as long as Caleb does not take 2 prize cards here, Brent is still ahead. Remember, if Caleb goes to 3, Brent's still at 4 on his turn. Brent just has to take 2 prize cards twice. Now, of course, this Vengeful Punch is going to make that very, very awkward for Brent, because as long as Caleb only has the Gholdengo as his only 2 prizes in play, knocking it out will very likely put Caleb to 2 prize cards. It means Brent is going to have to look at knocking out the Gholdengo with something like a Gardevoir EX, which would work. That would be the play we have to see here. But yeah, very interesting back and forth here. We'll see what the play here is going to be for Caleb. TM Evo and eSearch Pro grabbed. But of course, with the Arven being played, there is no out to boss. We're at 4/4, so there's no counter catchers. And what now? 4 energies grabbed from the A-Spec. Shuffling up. What do we have? $10 HP remaining on the bench Gimmighoul. There is a very real chance of a double Monkey Dory line as an option for Brent, which means that we have to heal the benched Gimmighoul, but of course there is also 3 on the Dracloak doing the exact same. Gonna be a Adrenabrain from the Dracloak to the Screamtail. Screamtail at 50 HP, 40 remaining. 50 damage, sorry, 40 HP remaining. And it is going to be the Ultra Ball for the Gholdengo, likely to be the active Gholdengo at that. Interesting, but does make an amount of sense. Where is it going? It looks like it's going to be on the bench, again, protecting his board from double Adrenabrain. Now, double Adrenabrain is not taking a prize here for Brent, healing from one and evolving the other. But while we've stayed alive, we are likely just to pass with this Gimmighoul in the active. That is what Caleb is going to do. But what else? Brent now back, effectively same position as last turn. Caleb's board a little stronger, but no pressure being put on Brent. It's just going to be a research. Brent's deck getting thinner and thinner. Definitely no way roofing charm now. Yep, there's the bravery charm. And once again, now we can knock out any of the Gholdengos, frankly, and Brent will be massively ahead in this game. Likely what we'll see is an amount of Adrenabrain to maybe put a Gholdengo into range of a Gardevoir EX. Just the 10 HP is all we need to do. And then knocking out the other. Playing in the Vengeful Punch likely no longer matters. At least not that much. Brent's board is just looking better and better at this point. Caleb doing everything he can to stay alive, but it might not be enough. There are lines, there are choices, there are opportunities, but with the deck so thin and initiative on Brent, I think Caleb is officially out of counterplay. Now it's in Brent's hands to close out game 3 in top 4 and lock his space in the finals. But we'll see. Adrenabrain onto the bench Gholdengo with the Vengeful Punch, now with 7 damage counters on it, 70 damage. 1 on the other Gholdengo, with likely eyeing up her energies to finish it with the Screamtail. Not quite sure what the math says as far as which Goldengo is best to knock out, but I'm sure Brent will find the correct one. Not a doubt in my mind. What are we eyeing up here? Looks like a Night Stretcher is going to be eyed up for Brent. Psychic to the Pheasantipity. Trying his absolute best to just checkmate here. And it is going to be the knockout with Screamtail onto the benched Goldengo. So what, it had 50 HP, 50 damage on it, which means the Goldengo with 7 just died at the 200. Now the Screamtail with 90 damage on it is still alive thanks to the Bravery Charm. Out of Monkey Dory range, not that there's any damage to move in the first place. And for Caleb, how much can we do here? Not a whole lot, it seems. Dragapult line, maybe. Iono, don't think that's an option. Caleb here. Trying just about anything that'll let him get back into this game, but especially with the energy spread where they are, it's likely checkmate. While Brent is not guaranteed game next turn, Crocking Pheasantipity should get us there without too much issue. Brent likely has it on lock. There's a Fez. At this point, we can't really afford to care. But I don't think we have Iono left. And even with Iono left, it likely wouldn't be enough. Both Brent's deck and hand are thin. It's going to be checkmate as Brent Tonisson locks up his spot in the finals of the Monterrey Regional Championships. Going to be playing against reigning world champion Fernando on Blissey. Blissey versus Gardevoir is going to be our finals match.